I was not always a monster. Once I was Medusa, the priestess of Athena, revered for my beauty and my devotion. My golden hair flowed like rivers of sunlight, and my laughter rang through the temples as a hymn to the gods. But it was not beauty that defined me then. It was faith, a pure, unshaken belief in the divine, a dedication to the goddess I served. How cruel the gods can be. The memory of that day in Athena's temple is as sharp as a blade. I had gone to offer my daily prayers. The marble floor cool beneath my knees. The air was heavy with the scent of incense, and the flames of the lamps flickered in rhythm with my whispered devotion. I was alone, or so I thought. He came like a storm, Poseidon, the god of the sea. His presence filled the sacred chamber, his eyes like the depths of the ocean, alluring and terrifying. He spoke no words. He simply took what he wanted. I cried out to Athena, to my goddess, my protector, but she did not answer. My voice echoed through the temple, unanswered, unheard. When it was over, I lay on the cold stone floor, broken. I expected comfort, justice, or even wrath, something from the goddess I had served so faithfully. But when Athena appeared, her face was not one of solace but of fury. "You have defiled my temple," she said, her voice cold as the winds atop Olympus. Her anger was not directed at the god who had wronged me, but at me, I who had been powerless to stop him. Before I could speak, before I could beg for mercy or understanding, she passed her judgment. "Your beauty is a curse," she said. "It is your beauty that caused this." Her words carved into me deeper than Poseidon's violation, and then the transformation began. My golden hair writhed and twisted, turning into serpents that hissed and snapped at the air. My soft skin hardened, and my eyes, once praised for their warmth, now carried a deadly curse. To meet my gaze was to invite death, to turn to stone. I fled, banished to an island far from human sight. My heart, once so full of love and devotion, grew heavy with hatred. I hated the gods for their cruelty, the mortals who whispered my name in fear, and the reflection that stared back at me in the still waters of my exile. Each time I saw my face, I was reminded of what I had lost and the monstrous visage that was now mine. Time passed differently on the island. Days stretched into months, months into years. I built a life among the crags and the silence, with only the hissing of my serpents for company. I would speak to them sometimes, as though they were my sisters, but their responses were nothing more than instinctive flicks of their forked tongues. Still, they understood my pain in a way no one else could. They were, after all, as much victims as I was. The mortals came, seeking glory. At first I hid, hoping they would leave, but they always found me. They came with their shields polished to a blinding shine, hoping to avoid my gaze. But even the brightest shield cannot protect against their own hubris. One by one, they fell, their faces frozen in expressions of shock or terror. I began to see their visits, not as intrusions, but as reminders of the cruelty of the world beyond my island. Each statue was a testament to the folly of mankind. Yet, there were nights when I dreamed of the life I once had. I dreamed of laughter, of sunlight streaming through the temple windows, of hands clasped in prayer. I dreamed of my family, long since lost to the sands of time. Did they mourn me, I wondered? Or did they too see me as a monster? One night, as the moon cast its pale light over the cliffs, I stood at the edge of the sea. The waves crashed below, a symphony of chaos and calm. I thought of walking into the water, of letting it wash away the curse, the pain, the memories. But the sea was his domain, and I could not bear to give him that victory. Instead, I stayed, anchored by a faint, stubborn hope that one day someone would look upon me and see something other than a monster. They call me a monster, but I am not. I'm a victim of their capricious whims, a scapegoat for their failings. Yet, in my solitude, I have found power. Mortals seek me out, thinking themselves heroes, hoping to claim my head as a trophy. They come with swords and shields, arrogance in their hearts, and they fall one by one to my curse. My island is littered with statues, not of heroes, but of fools. But even now I long for peace, for someone to see me as I once was. Not a creature, not a monster, but Medusa. The girl who laughed, who danced, who prayed. The girl who loved the gods, before they abandoned her. Perhaps someday, someone will tell my story. Not as the villain, but as the victim. Until then, I remain here, in my solitude, neither dead nor alive. A ghost of the girl I used to be.